I was watching it off the side of my monitor. I saw Sammy Boy buy a couple of Battle Furies on a quick
Yeah,
pain.
yeah. I was gonna bring that up because you did just mention the co-op, and it kind of brought it to memory.
Mm,
Yesterday, people were arguing with me in chat that NA Dota
10
is
seconds
superior to
remaining.
SCA Dota, and
mm.
no.
Not
And then
true. Not true.
I
Five seconds remaining.
I looked at Battle Furies on co-op, and I was like, okay, well, that's not how it's done. I don't think.
I think that was just a bit of flexing going
Yeah,
on, though.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As someone that within the Australian region, we had to play on US West
Radiant
for
to
years
ban.
before we got our own server, and
I remember.
now we do play on Southeast Asia a little bit if we want to. I'd say C's probably got their number for now. For now, we'll see what they're able to do. But I'm really liking this Void Spirit pick. It's such a strong hero. The one weakness, I suppose, is it does fall off a little bit if you're not able to transition then into the later game. But like I was mentioning
10
before, with
seconds
this Enchantress
remaining.
being picked up first, that Spectre is a big possibility to
5
come out here.
seconds
So it kind of,
remaining.
secures the laning stage with your Enchantress and the Legion Commander. You secure the mid game with the Enigma and the Void Spirit. You've got good pushing potential, and then the late game of the Spectre, if it does get to that late, and honestly, it might not even.
Right. I wouldn't mind seeing it. It is still going to be available. I guess we'll see if T1 intend on trying to just get rid of it right now. The Spectre definitely very, very viable this game for TNC Predator. Well, their last ban, they'll have a think about it. It's clearly going to be a Gabby hero, and
NC
they do ban out the
Predators
Spectre.
turn to
There
ban.
you
Yeah,
go.
they've
Uh,
done their research. Good on them.
I wonder though. Now I ask you the hard question: what else could we pick though? Like, what else would you prefer in that pos one role for TNC?
Hmm.
Do we just go back to something like the Gabby Morphling? Because we do see that they kind of just go back to that if they're out of options.
Yeah,
10
Morphling's
seconds
okay.
remaining.
I mean, PL's not bad, but it's gotten a lot worse ever
5
since the
seconds
Ursa
remaining.
obviously starts building into Battle Fury now, so you're not, quite as easily able to deal with it.
Right.
Um, hmm. Well, they're taking their time to think about it, so, and granted they've got a lot of reserve time.
NC Predators turn
The
to
Taking
ban.
DK.
something a little instant initiation, which they were lacking somewhat on T1. Other than waiting for an Abyssal Blade, there wasn't really anything there, so you're always going to be able to get away on a Void Spirit. But yeah, DK, one of those ones. I mean, what else could we potentially even see coming through from the mid lane as well? Ember Spirit's
10
still in the pool,
seconds
which is a little bit
remaining.
surprising.
Hmm. That is true. The
5
Ember
seconds
usually, like
remaining.
a week or two ago, it was basically first pick material every single time, or first phase at the very least. But now teams are kind of leaving it, till those later stages if it does make it through, which is very surprising.
Mm.
Uh, but I guess T1 will have the option available to them, and it doesn't necessarily do too badly up against that Void Spirit either in that mid matchup.
Are they going to get likened?
Oh, that's actually a good point. Lycan is still available. Gabby does run the Lycan sometimes if it does fit the draft. I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
I mean, it does fit it pretty well. Ogre can't do anything against it. Mirana, not great. You kind of obviously need to get up in their face to get off a good Starstorm. Pangolier is okay, but once you use that swashbuckle, what can you really do about it? And oftentimes it's starting to knock on your tier 3 towers before an Ursa has come online with that Battle Fury.
That's true. TNC, will they take the option? Seems like an obvious pick, perhaps. To us, anyway, but TNC may not feel that way. I guess the Mirana arrow could be a little bit disruptive up against the Lycan, because maybe you can arrow a Necro unit, if the Lycan
Yeah,
does send them out. I mean, I guess that's
Radiant
kind
win.
of a problem, but they do go back to the Morphling.
that's all
Uh,
right.
it's just their security pick for Gabby. It's just when they don't have anything else left, it's always back to the Morph.
Hmm.
T1 now, I suppose they've got to find a way to deal with this. And you pointed out the Ember, a natural Spirit Vessel carrier if they want it. Chains are pretty good. Overall, I think it works well
10
up against the
seconds
draft of
remaining.
TNC Predator. Will they do it though?
5 seconds remaining.
I always see different opinions when it comes to the Void Spirit against the Ember Spirit laning matchup as well, though. I feel like it's slightly Void Spirit favored, but it heavily goes down to individual skill, as it is with any of these Spirit Brothers, right? That find themselves in the mid lane. So It'd be a gutsy pick to go for it last, but I think they can make it work on T1. They've been looking relatively strong lately, although TNC, they've won their last 6 games in a row, so we'll see if they're able to continue it.
Why do you think the Void Spirit outmatches the Ember in that mid lane? Like you personally, why do you
Uh,
feel that way?
just because if you're relying on Flame Guard to be able to get a lot of last hits, you have a lot of Void Spirit's damage, which is magical, right? So you're just easily able to go through it. Oh, they go with a Monkey King. All right, something a little bit different.
Hmm.
Gets that little bit of extra attack range, which Void Spirit also has, but Monkey slightly greater. You've got the physical barrier for Armel playing the Void Spirit as well, so it's not going to be horrible to lane against. Reckon we'll see a few boundless strikes get baited out. Maybe some animation canceling to try and bait out a dissimilate or something along those lines.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I imagine they will be that will be happening quite a bit here. In your dream, I haven't really seen him playing the Monkey King so much throughout
Mm,
the BTS Pro Series, but he has been playing some wild heroes. Like we've been seeing a lot of mid invoker coming out for some reason. Not that it's really been working out quite well, but it has been happening. But the
mm.
Monkey King does incite a little bit more confidence in me up against that Void Spirit. Overall, I've got to say I like both drafts. I don't think either one's too bad at all. It should be a pretty exciting matchup.
It should. It has to be said though, the last 2 games that they played with a Ursa and a Monkey King, they lost both of them, and
Ah,
I believe that was against Signal, who are bottom of the barrel in terms of the leaderboards here in the BTS Pro Series number 2. So not looking fantastic for T1, but I don't know. They've got the potential, and they can be like the king makers or the king breakers with a result here against TNC.
absolutely. I do like that stat though. They haven't won yet. That's a bit of a concern, but
Mm.
see if they can get their first win here up against TNC. This is of course game number 1 of a best of 2 series between the two. And if you didn't hear me earlier on, TNC are desperate to get a 2-0 victory to even have a chance of getting through to the upper bracket. Of course, that is kind of in Boom Esports' hands as well as to whether that happens. But we'll focus on this first. So they are going to run the Monkey King mid, of course, up against Armel's Void Spirit. Now, this arguably should be a pretty decent matchup for In Your Dream. Like, there's no way he loses this, right?
I wouldn't think so, but I mean, I guess they're not really going to be rotating through anyway, right? You've got the Enchantress who wants to secure the Morphling farm, and then Tim's wants to be a little bit more passive with the Enigma, at least at the very start of the game. So you would think that this is going to go favorably for In Your Dream.
Okay. See how it pans out. Of course, Armel on that Void Spirit has been quite dangerous. I was referring to him as the sniper yesterday. His Aether Remnants just always seem to connect, especially throughout that mid game where you see the Void Spirit just running around creating all kinds of havoc. He is a very, very dangerous kind of man to have on your team with that hero. Well, he will need to be active as well, right? Because you are going to need to make space for Gabby in this game. Can't let Miracle get too farmed on that Ursa.
Hmm.
The battle
Wonder what's going on
begins.
here with the lane matchups as well. You've got March who's sitting down on the bottom side of the map. I wonder if he's going to stay here, or are they just leaving Gabby on his own? They've placed a really defensive observer ward here to try and catch out any sort of lane manipulation, as well as maybe Mirana rotating behind to get an arrow off. But well, they eventually TP up on March, so he's going to be fine.
This is going to mean KP's stuck at bot by himself, though, right? Because Tim's probably won't stick around. He's just going to go jungle on the Enigma now.
Hmm.
I doubt he sticks around here on that pos for Enigma. But
No, he should be fine though. And you can see they're doing some great zoning out of this range creep, and yep, he denies it off and just goes straight back to the jungle.
yeah, KP should be fine by himself. Like, he can be a little bit challenging up against the Ursa, but I suppose when you've got the Enigma there to just constantly just deny off a creep for you, the equilibrium should just stay in your side of the
Allison
lane
and
anyway.
March are throwing things at each other. March is in danger of going down here. He's going to have to pop the Fairy Fire and he'll be fine. In the draft we were talking about thinking, well, they've got the Legion Commander. Maybe now they need to go into that ranged core just to make sure that they're not going to get the Moment of Courage procs and make it a more favorable trade for KP. Ursa's probably the only melee hero that can make that favorable trade just through stacking up the Fury Swipes.
Oh, March. He overextended top lane. He will go down. Forev, the one to pick up the first blood, and it was just a nice, easy rotation there from Jokam on the Ogre. He just left the Ursa down bot by himself, and Fire Blast into Arrow. Works wonders.
Good start for them.
Definitely is. That'll leave Gabby by himself for a little bit as well, and I suppose with Jokam, you just stay up here, right? Like, there's no reason for you to make your way back down bot.
Maybe not to bot, but maybe he might want to just start to split the experience that Tims is grabbing from this Enigma. Just stand next to him, try and harass him up a little bit.
That's true. See what Jokam does try to do here. For now, looks like he'll just back off with Polison. Of course, that mid lane matchup as well. Armel does seem to be actually winning the matchup thus far on that Void Spirit versus Monkey King. In terms of CS anyway, he is getting a bit low on regen. I say he's getting low on regen. He still has the 2 shared tangos. He's not really being harassed out too much.
Well, that's the thing. He's just focusing on the last hits instead. Obviously, he found out Gabby on top side with an arrow, but he's level 3, so got 2 points in the attribute shift. Jokam might be in trouble.
Yeah, he goes down. Just an easy kill there for Gabby. Nice escape coming out from the Morphling. You do have to be careful with that Morphling. It can be a little bit challenging to kill him off. But still that mid matchup. He's just focusing on CS. He's not actually allowing the Monkey King to really take over this lane.
Under attack.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fine, right? You're playing in a less than favorable lane. You want to be able to get a decent amount for yourself, and he's doing just fine. Obviously, Monkey King taking a small advantage still, but I think right now all you really want is levels on Armel, because what you want to do is you want to hit that level 7 and start to rotate immediately, because that Resonant Pulse is going to do a ton of damage at that point in the game.
That's fair. He's just going to wait it out for now. Of course, we do have the Power Rune spawning up in about 30 seconds, but Paulson, he's going to make an early rotation. Armel going to back off now. Boundless is there with the arrow, though no. It doesn't land. I suppose they zone out Armel a bit, but now the creep wave is underneath his tower anyway. And the Power Runes are coming up.
Yeah. You've got Paulson who's just camping out the top side, so he's doing his job there. Armel, obviously not yet level 6, and you never really want to try and contest against in your dream. He's going to try and harass him up a little bit here, but no Venom just yet, and Rune doesn't even spawn there.
Very unlucky for Armel. The Illusion Rune's going to be up there at top. Paulson has guarded it just fine, so looks like Armel's just going to have to wait out the Bounty Runes at 5 minutes. So we'll just go secure some jungle farm. Things are still going relatively well for KP down at bot lane as well on the LC, but the same could be said for Miracle, who is basically just free farming on that Ursa. Surprisingly enough, though, they haven't really zoned out KP very well on the LC. He's just pulling the creep wave constantly. It's working out quite nicely for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing just fine here, and well, it feels like Jokam's kind of running around like a headless chicken a little bit. He's got his level 3 now, so he's going to be able to get that extra skill point up. He's going to try and contest these bounty runes, and I'm a little surprised he hasn't camped himself right next to Tims.
And that he hasn't. He's going to go up towards that top lane again. He'll just secure the banner in there. March was threatening to take on the Enchantress, so now they're actually going to make a bit of a dive here onto March, but Arrow will connect in time. He tried to dodge it out, but it will be no good, and it looks like March will die for the second time this game.
It's not terrible though, right? You can see here Gabby, he's just farming up the neutral camp a little bit, getting that double experience, getting some decent levels for himself, and alright farm. And at the end of the day, if Tims doesn't have anyone bothering him, he's very happy.
That he is. Of course, Gabby, I kind of wonder as well, what item build do you see him going in this game on the Morph? I believe it was yesterday we saw the standard kind of Manta Rush on the Morphling, but this time around you could possibly see just an Ethereal Blade Rush, right?
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. It's got good combination together with the Void Spirit. It's a ton of burst damage that's going to be able to come out, especially now with the Midnight Pulse being shifted to magical damage. It's really effective there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Miracle bot lane looks like he was in a bit of trouble. They're still chasing him down.
Radiant structures.
Overwhelming odds, going to be pretty nice from KP. March doesn't really have enchant though to slow down that Ursa. But Miracle's going to need some help down bot. He's been zoned out quite nicely and nobody's there to help him. Instead, they're grouping up mid. They're going to try and go after Armel. Armel does get the Resonant Pulse, but a nice arrow coming in. Now Boundless as well. Can he juke himself out? Absolutely not. They will secure the kill on that Void Spirit.
And there's that strength of having a slightly winning lane on towards the mid. Of course, you get the kill, but that comes as a result of him not having his level 6 just yet.
It's a big deal. Of course, TNC now getting grouped
Miracle's
up down bot. Yeah, they're trying. Miracle is very, very low, but Tim's, he's just going to try and TP out, and he does. Jokam had the Fire Blast, but looks like he may have just been out of range.
Yeah, not the longest range for an Ogre early on before he's able to get up. I mean, I'm sure he's praying for a keen optic or something along those lines.
Absolutely. Every support prays for that particular item.
Ooh.
Miracle actually rotates up top, gets Gabby.
Alright, some nice arrows coming out here from Paulson.
That's for sure. I swear we're just looking at Miracle down in the bot lane, and the second lady is going to kill up top. That's a big one though. Gabby going down for the first time this game, and well, that's the one hero you don't really want to lose on TNC. With that, they should be able to slowly start setting up for that tier 1 top tower.
Sent back the Faded Brooch as well. Really effective on, well, essentially all of these heroes on T1. In Your Dream, of course, is just to be able to get that extra little bit of chase off, that extra one right click is hugely influential, and for an Ursa as well. You just want to be able to get that chase up and even just speed up the movement between creep camps.
Absolutely. T1 really focusing quite well on those power runes. They're consistently just taking them away from Armel, who I believe hasn't gotten one yet. Now he's going to make his way down bot, just chasing Jokam down, but Gabby is going to be there with KP. They've also got In Your Dream there. They'll go for a duel onto Forever. Now Armel will jump in. Can they finish it? Not quite, but they do get the kill in time. Still KP going to go down in the process, and now Tim's going to rotate in. Do we have a black hole? Not quite either. He's level 5. But it won't matter. The side of T1 cannot fight, or maybe they can. Miracle's here. He'll go after that Enigma. Now Armel getting arrowed up as well. Nobody escaping from TNC. They're going to have to try and fight back. They'll lose Tim's on the Enigma.
Boundless into.
Yeah, Armel, he will die. And In Your Dream, he get. Oh, that's just perfect In Your Dream. He gets Gabby as well.
Nice little rotations coming there from T1. It just feels like this Paulson Mirana, he's hitting everything that he goes for. Just that one miss on the mid lane, impacting it a little bit and making things not go in a much more dominant fashion for T1. But I'm liking it, you know. KP was able to get a decent amount out of that bot lane, but at what cost? This Tim's Enigma is really going to have to pop off, and well, he's going to be able to expedite his farm a little bit, picking up that Necro book early-ish. I think it was around the 7-minute mark or so.
Just about. He'll have to really get back to it. But at this point, I suppose T1 is starting to really feel confident now. They're sitting at 8-2 with a 2k net worth lead. Of course, In Your Dream on that Monkey King. It's already got the items up to be aggressive now with those phase boots and the double wraith bands. And
look at this as well. You've got In Your Dream walking towards this outpost, so they want to make sure they're able to contest it. You even got Jokam backing him up, so that's going to be full experience going to T1.
Yeah, Tim's, he thought about going for the Malefice onto In Your Dream, but just never got it off. And now they're going to chase him down.
Oh,
Tim's,
nice pulse.
Yeah, it definitely was. Breaking the tree line there for In Your Dream. And Tim's will just TP out, though. No, Boundless Strike is just within range. And I suppose they could slowly chase him down. In Your Dream, still just jumping into the tree with the Primal Spring. Tim's should definitely just be dead. He has no way to turn this.
He's got nothing.
He'll go down. That'll be the 4th kill now for this Monkey King. Even worse than that, they are going mid lane now. Miracle is there with Paulson. They lost their bot tier 1, but they'll happily trade that away if it means finding a mid tier 1.
Yeah, I'd say they're fairly happy with that. You always want to take away the jungling potential from this Enigma. Now that he's picked up the Necro book and being on the Dire side, taking away the Radiant Ancient camp is a relatively high priority.
Absolutely. Because Gabby needs that farm as well. He's trying to farm up that shotgun build. Hasn't really gotten anywhere close yet on that Morphling. Now T1 gonna get some deep wards in and try to take over this this jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower is
The
under
top
attack.
tier one still going down as well. In your dream, just gonna take care of it, and nobody's really there to defend this, so he's just gonna get it for free. They're gonna try into Joe Cam though, bot lane. Ogre's gonna be in trouble, and Armel should be able to easily secure the kill. KP is coming in for a free duel for himself, and looks like he will easily get that.
The downside of being so bulky. Oh, they've actually found out this attempt onto Roshan, but Tim's, he went for the black hole, but I'd say luckily enough he cancelled it. He didn't have the backup to be able to follow up.
They're going to go back into the Roshan, but KP and March are going to be there to contest, but now the Boundless Strike is out on March.
Under the
Mel
sentry.
jumping in. Just jumps into 4, and now Gabby jumps in, taking out Forev. Wukong's command is there. They'll just run away from that, but Miracle is not done. He'll go after Gabby. Now Joe Cam coming in to bloodlust his teammates and stun up Gabby, but there's the press the
KP.
attack. Still trying to run away, but no, the Earth Shock. It was there in time. The Primal Spring as well, in your dream, just slowing everyone up, going back after Armel.
hole.
Tim's with the black hole, does find 3 of them, and now maybe they turn around with the Astral Step, but no, Armel goes down anyway, but TNC are going back in, but here comes In Your Dream, back onto March. The arrow flies in once again from Paulson onto Tim's, and TNC are not going to win this trade war. It'll be 1 for 4, in fact it might be a full team wipe.
Still going.
It is going to be a full team wipe. Oh my.
And they get the mango tree. It just goes from bad to worse for TNC. And, well, Ursa's going to be back up in another 5 seconds. And you have to feel that they're confident to just go and try and throw that Roche one more time. Black hole used. It was a good one, catching onto 3, but he just didn't have that burst damage coming from the Ursa at the time.
Oh, it's a huge deal for T1. I mean, their net worth, that Earthshock didn't quite get him over the wall, but they've got the 3k net worth lead now. They're sitting at 15 to 5. They're going to have that Aegis. TNC is still going to try and scout this out. March is going to send some neutral creeps in to see what kind of health this Roshan's at.
They can't do anything about it.
No, that they can't, for sure. They are not even going to make their way down. They'll just let it go down. It's a huge deal for T1, though.
Yeah, absolutely. In Your Dreams popping off this game. Nearly reached his level 12 already. 2 full levels ahead of his closest competitor. Oh, man, and a broom handle. How far away do you want to hit?
It kind of gets ridiculous once you have this on the Monkey King. He's a ranged hero now. Be pretty happy guy with that Echo Saber up. And for TNC, like, you've fallen behind with this Void Spirit. You've got this greedier style draft with the Enigma now as well. It's like, what do you do up against T1 now that they've got that map control?
As weird as it is to say, pray for them to screw up a little bit, because you've drafted and you've played really well during the laning stage to make sure that you're in a position where that is going to be very difficult. You know, you've got Mirana now, who's up to a level 8, so maxing out that Starstorm means that this Enigma isn't able to just constantly throw his Necro Book as well as the demonic conversions down on the bottom side. You can just farm up a lot for yourself, close to that Spirit Vessel too, which is going to be really impactful against this Morphling who, like you said before, is going for that shotgun build instead of something like the Manta.
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem. And you know, speaking of that shotgun build, Gabby is still kind of struggling to be able to pick that up. Does opt to go for the Ghost Scepter first, and he'll go for the Eagle Song later, but generally that kind of implies they're struggling a bit with farm, and in all fairness, he's only got that Dyad Triangle right now to farm up. So it is going to be a slower process for Gabby. He'll keep trying.
Oh, he's trying, that's for sure.
So it is going to be very, very important to have that up, but you look at Miracle, I mean, he's not even bothering the Battle Fury on that Ursa. He's just going straight Abyssal Blade now. And KP, well, Rolling Thunder up at the top lane. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to die. T1 will continue the control over this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much that you can do when you've got all 3 enemy cores running at your face, especially as a Legion commander. You know, it's nice to be able to survive that extra little bit, but I think the rest of TNC are doing exactly what they need to. You know, like we were mentioning before, Tim's is down farming the Radiant Ancient camp. He's keeping this wave pushed out, and means that they can't put all of their attention onto trying to interrupt this Morphling farm.
That is true. It's the best Tim's can do right now. He's Actually holding 2.4k gold as well, and I kind of wonder what item build he goes for here on that Enigma.
Hmm.
We've seen multiple variations of the Enigma builds from different teams. Like teams like Adroit and Boom Esports will try to go just straight into a Blink Dagger, which is very old school. Then you'll see the other team still going for that kind of sustainability build with a Guardian Greaves and maybe a Pipe, even a Crimson Guard at times. But he'll hold
Alright.
on for now. No,
There we
never
go.
mind.
Yeah, he just TP'd back, picks it up, smokes immediately, so they want to make a play happen right now. It's going to be around the 17-minute mark as well, so perhaps trying to bait out T1 going for a play to try and get these tier 2 items. They do some good job dewarding on this mid-high ground, though.
That they do. It's not going to be very easy for Tims to actually get that vision up now to try and find these guys out. And you know, in all fairness, that smoke's about to wear off. I think Tims was just trying to rush back towards his team with that smoke. Maybe they go for another, as March is holding 2 smokes at the moment on the Enchantress. They are just going to try and take over that Radiant Triangle. And, oh, double sentries.
Double revealed.
That's not very good.
I mean, they're connecting through to KP, which is good. It's taking, again, more attention away from Armel, and I really feel like he needs to be the one there initiating these team fights. He's in a bit of a weird position wanting to take this mid-farm, especially since he's only, 900 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter, and I think that's going to be the real big timing for them. Traditionally, though, when you go this Ag Scepter build on the Void Spirit, you want to try and time it where your laning stage has gone well enough that you're reaching level 15 at the same time, so that you're getting essentially 160 plus Resonant Pulse damage, because you can use it twice.
That is going to be very impactful this game for sure. They desperately do need that up. Armel still needs a lot of levels to go for that 15 mark. He really hasn't got the space for that, though. Every bit of farm they are giving away to that Morphling. Gabby does have the shotgun built up now, so you've at least got that for the next team fight. Perhaps now Armel will be allowed to just farm up a few creep waves from himself. But T1 don't look like they want to allow that to happen. They are grouping up, though. Unfortunately for them, the Aegis will expire, so perhaps Miracle may just focus up on finishing that Abyssal Blade first before they go into another team fight.
Yeah, I think that's fine, but yeah, again, they had
Forever.
the
Black Hole? Yeah, just committed with the Jewel. But now, in your dream, gonna jump in straight after Tims. Tims should be dead, but Press the Attack will come in. Still Boundless is gonna be out from In Your Dream. Gabby returning the favor there, but Jokam does get him with the Fire Blast. They will at least secure the kill onto Tims. And Miracle still looking here for that Gabby Monkey King morph, I suppose you'd call it. He is going to find him out, but again, he doesn't really have the Abyssal yet, so he can't close the gap, but they'll go after KP instead. In Your Dream is going to scout him out, and with that, KP just traps himself in the tree line. He'll try to juke this out, but it's going to be no good. In Your Dream's damage output just way too high at the moment. They do find a 2-for-1 trade.
Armel?
Oh, Forev on top. He does Astral Step, Rolling Thunder. No other Astral Step available at the moment, but he does at least have the Ags up now. Can he actually try and juke his way out with it, though? Miracle, gonna go on top. There's the Dissimulate into the tree line. Aether Remnant will block the way, and it works. He'll just walk out.
Yeah, nicely done. Next Bounty Rune's coming up as well, so he's going to be able to refill his bottle, and, well, TNC have gotten away with a little bit here, you know. Yeah, they died with 3 people there, but they got a key kill on the top side. They forced people to rotate. Now they've got the shotgun. Now they've got the Aghanim Scepter, and a kill on March doesn't help, but look at where it is on the left side of the map. The lane's all the way pushed through, and you've got 4 heroes doing essentially what they want in the mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. March just making the space for his team. Because T1's still in the lead here for this game for sure. And you've got Miracle now. He does have the Abyssal Blade up, so this might be the timing T1 was waiting for. So you should have that control now to really catch out Gabby. However, Heaven's Halberd now up on KP, so you've got a way to kind of counter that out. There's not going to be anything like a BKB yet on this Ursa to really just try and get that away.
Yeah. In Your Dreams just picked it up, so it's about the timing of using that halberd versus the BKB that's going to be real key.
Absolutely.
And
T1.
even with that enrage as well, if you just use it on him, he can just shrug it off and be ready to fight immediately again.
That is very true.
They're going in.
That they are. They should spot out KP. Moonlight Shadow to be popped, but looks like TNC are aware something is going wrong here. They'll run into KP, spot him out. They'll leave him be. No, never mind. Pings are flying out now.
Oh man, they're playing this really well on TNC. Just that sixth sense to be able to back off.
It's very nice. Arrow is going to be there. That won't really actually give any vision. So TNC looking to... Yeah, they'll be safe.
I mean, and looking again on this top side, Tim's doing exactly what he needs to. He's got to force them to make a choice. Do you fully commit onto this tier 2 tower, or do you defend? Because one of them's getting pushed.
It's going to be problematic.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Midnight Pulse clears out the tree line on the side. They are going to glyph that tier 2 tower. Tier 1 still waiting to try and go onto Gabby. They'll reveal themselves with that swashbuckle. Miracle going to go in now. There is going to be Ethereal, but no, he's been stunned up. Still, Abyssal wasn't used. So Miracle going to turn around now, trying to go after another. But Black Hole is going to be there from Tim's, but it is cancelled off. And now Miracle actually ends up going down. In Your Dream will be there with the Wukongs, but everyone runs out of it. They're just protecting Jokam, it seems, on that Ogre. Arrow does connect now on Gabby, but T1 just want to get out of there. And Jokam, he's just making a run for it, but Armel is on the chase. T1, or rather TNC, are TPing in, and Jokam, he will be surrounded, and he is surely just dead. And KP will take the jewel for himself.
Yeah, it's the power of lane pressure, MLP. It's just forcing them to do something that you might not necessarily want to, and, well, force the early glyph there. You don't want to be able to fight without it, pushing into a tier 3 tower, and just the wherewithal from TNC to hide in those bushes as well.
I think that's
something that comes from experience, right?
Yeah, I don't think people really understand that with supports these days. Like, you can die pressuring everyone to come gank you up at that top lane and make space for the rest of your team and open up the map for them. And dying as a support doing that isn't actually a bad thing. It's actually a very high-level play.
Absolutely.
Which is what you tell the people in your pubs when you make a mistake, but they have space anyway. It's
tactical feed.
Yeah, absolutely. So TNC now not looking quite as bad, Danog. They've lowered the net worth lead that T1 has by about 3k. It was sitting around that 5k mark now. I'd say they are definitely coming online with Gabby with that Morphling, and T1 may start getting a little bit desperate on the Radiant side.
Tim's is in trouble though.
That's a problem. No way of escaping In Your Dream. He will end up going down very easily.
Radiant's middle tower
They
is under
even get the
attack.
D ward off on the Tinker ward.
Cheeky.
Yes.
And, well, it's not going to be a, we were seeing it before a fair amount, but it's not going to be a Battle Fury Ursa. So he doesn't quite have the same potential to transition into that late game carry. You can see his farm is sitting in 3rd right now. And that's really because that even though In Your Dream was playing in that position 2 role, he is the #1 farm priority for his team. Every single team fight, the bloodlust is on him, they're following him, they make sure that the BKB is popped at the time that's going to benefit him. It's very much the In Your Dream show.
That it is. They'll get the Aegis. Miracle will take the Aegis on the Ursa. They may need to try and defend bot lane though. Gabby getting used up. In Your Dream gonna jump in, but Gabby does have his team there. In Your Dream still buying time for his team to catch up, but Gabby will turn around on Polison, does take him out. Now maybe they get Armel, who is TPing out of there, but Jokam can't reach. He still doesn't have anything like an Aether Lens, so unfortunately his range is still very, very short, and Gabby's just sitting on a tree right now as a Morphling. He'll morph back into the monkey.
Yeah, he's TPing away. Yeah, that Ogre just wishing, where is my keen optic? He's going to be praying for that telescope in 1.5 minutes time. Not just for him as well, just to help his entire team. It's going to be real handy, especially with that Abyssal Blade on the Ursa.
Assuming you get that lucky kind of RNG for your team.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work out. But onto the tier 2 bot tower it is now for the side of T1. They still are the stronger team, I would argue. Well, the stronger draft right now in this game, but it is very, very close.
Tower is under attack.
Glyph
But
forced
again,
out. They'll just blink
they're
out.
forced back.
Yeah. Maybe March dies here, but he's happy to die for this.
Pretty sure they saw that.
He'll just go down. Won't mind. However, maybe you don't really want to lose any more. They'll smoke up. Gabby's smoke is broken, and now Tim's is as well. But they have blinked out. They'll be just fine. Still a chase continues though. Miracle.
They're fighting under a sentry though.
That they are. They jump in. Miracle trying to go into Armel, but Armel's gone on him. They burst down the Aegis. Now Black Hole going to be committed, actually catching two, but it is cancelled off. So Tim's will end up going down. Paulson on the chase now for Armel. Does get the Yules off, but doesn't quite have an arrow. They don't need it though. They have the Abyssal Blade there. Now the arrow will connect on KB. Still Armel trying to run away with the Dissimulate, but he will die. KB will get away. But still a great team fight out there from T1.
Great positioning there by In Your Dream for that Boundless Strike as well. In the past 3 or 4 ganks, they were trying to go for them. They pop a lot of stuff onto this Morphling or this Void Spirit, and he just gets away because KP is able to use that to press the attack to dispel the stun, to dispel the Spirit Vessel. That time though, making sure he caught both of them, and it was enough to be able to take him down.
Even then, they also found March down at the bot lane again. Just trying to get in range to try and split push that bot lane one more time, but Paulson was there with the Spirit Vessel on the arrows to just set up for himself. Of course, they're going to take the mid tier 2, but they look to connect down to the bot tier 2 afterwards. TNC, they may be slowly running out of time. Just seems like a bit of a struggle here for them.
Yeah, I mean, in that previous fight that they lost around the tier 2 on the bot lane, I think Ursa was only level 14 at the time. And so hitting level 15 from the Roshan and the creep camps that he was able to farm up means he's got that extra plus 12 agility. Of course, he's also got the cheese and getting closer to that BKB as well. So even though it's not a hyper late game draft from them, they've come into their timings real nicely.
That they have. And he's going to have that BKB up very, very soon on that Ursa. That should help, especially up against the shotgun of Gabby. Armel, though, mid lane. He's got to dissimulate out of there. Miracle is making a chase. Earthshock up the cliff and now goes for the Abyssal. Arrow to follow up, and Armel, he was right underneath an Observer Ward, and unfortunately for him, does get caught out.
They should know that as well, right? Because they just took the team fight under there and they de-warded it, and I'm pretty sure they had vision throughout that team fight, so a little bit of a misplay coming through from it.
Well, Forever, though, bot lane does go down. Bit more dual damage coming out for KB now. However, In Your Dream, gonna start rotating in as that monkey, getting a Boundless Strike off onto Gabby. Gabby still not morphing back to the Morphling form, just keeps going, trying to really just shield crash away, but he might just die. And he will. In fact, they found the Yules off onto KP as well. He was trying to get out of there, and unfortunately for him, he is also going to die now. So TNC, while they're buying themselves time, I don't know if you'd call it worth if you're losing these cores like this.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, the 2 surviving heroes are the supports on your team, and even now, Miracle has found out March.
Oh, it's yeah, that's not it. It's not the way to do it, and or Miracle now just has the full BKB up. At this stage, Danog, what do you think TNC need to be doing to try and turn this back?
What have they just picked up? So they've got a Black King bar now on the Enigma. Well, killing that courier with a full pipe on it's real handy. Lincoln's is being built up by the Void Spirit. I can understand that. You know, the initial catch out sometimes has been the Abyssal Blade. Yeah, I guess that's the big thing, right? Get the Lincolns on your Void Spirit, get the BKB on your Morphling. They're not too far away, about 1,500 gold. So, yeah, I'd say that's the next key timing for him.
No, fair enough. Even Tim's after that BKB, he had a Lincoln's queued up. He just takes it off now. I wonder if he'll go back for it, because it's just seems like it might be a bit too much pressure to go for that BKB Black Hole while the Ursa may not be caught in it. Well, he's going to have to focus on trying to catch that Ursa for now. So he won't really have the money for that Lincoln's anyway. But T1, they smoke up. Going through that dire triangle now. They're going to run straight into TNC. TNC.
Ursa's first.
Oh, Miracle getting caught with the Abyssal. Arrow barely missing though. Gabby does get away. Now the Rolling Thunder, however, connecting on 4 heroes with the Wukongs coming out from In Your Dream. They'll lose March as well. Now the chase is on for the big ones. Gabby, he's up first and he does go down very, very easily. They do miss out on Armel and Tim's, not Tim's, but rather KB, but I don't think they're going to mind that.
Yeah, being able to catch out onto 3. Unfortunate there by Tims that they did have such an aggressive movement coming through from Forev, making sure that black hole wasn't going to be a factor.
Yeah, it's just huge kills coming out for this T1 side. And now look at this, top lane. Straight away, just chasing the stragglers that were left. KP does get caught by the Abyssal. Aether, I'm not going to save him for now, but Miracle wants to keep chasing him down. The Earthshock won't really connect to slow him.
Tower is under attack.
KP will just continue taunting away.
Are fortified.
I haven't seen him use his clumsy net just yet. He's just holding on to it for the extra stats and the mana regen, but quite handy as an Ursa if you're able to especially get that Abyssal Blade off.
Well, Mel jumps in. Tims gets a one-man black hole, but that is going to mean Miracle is going to die. He didn't have an Aegis. Forev trying to roll away, but he gets silenced up. KP can't break the gap to get a jewel off, but In Your Dream, he's going to wait around with the rest of his team, just seeing if he could find an instancy to jump in. But now perhaps Jocam's going to be in trouble as they did scout him out with those Enigma creeps. But the arrow connecting there from Paulson again is going to stop the chase there from KP. So unfortunately for TNC, after that Miracle kill, they're not really going to be able to capitalize.
Well, nicely done by Paulson to just a simple ability, and it allows your support to get away. I'm liking the way that T1 have gone for their talents as well. You know, realizing that sure, they've got the strength to try and end the game now, but with the Monkey King in particular, just making sure they get that plus 320 Primal Spring damage. We've seen how much Tims as well as March have been pushing these waves out, and he wants to be able to stop that in a solo capacity.
It's a kind of an OP talent if you ask me. It's just so much damage. So much easier to farm with this Monkey King as well, once you've got that up. Not that he needs it, but... Well, I guess he's going for a Satanic, so he's not going to mind being able to farm a bit faster. In Your Dream, still sitting at 13-0, by the way, in terms of score. Hasn't died once. He's really just out of his mind right now in this MK. It's been a while.
Would you say he's in his dream?
I would. Thank you for that, Danog. I would say that. They are going to go for the Roshan. Arrow is going to connect. In Your Dream going to be there. And, well, Miracle, of course, going to join in as well. I imagine that will probably be another Aegis for the Ursa.
And it's going to be an Aghanim Scepter as well. I'm assuming it's probably going to go to the Ursa just to make sure if he does get that lockdown, he's able to get that status resist off for the reduced damage.
Looks like you maybe... No.
Monkey.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
I'd really like it if now, after he finishes his Satanic, if it does go that late, if maybe even went into something like a Radiance, just so you can constantly have that presence in the team fight. It disrupts the Blink BKB if you're able to get in aggressively.
That would be amazing. That would be extremely frustrating to have to play against. But we'll see. You just look at Tim's there on the Enigma, just using that Shadow Amulet to hold his position, as he does have Black Hole in a few seconds.
He can't even break it just yet because he's got the Monkey King statue behind him.
He'll break it now. T1 are going to keep pushing, but he is going to just skip the creep wave here with that Enigma. I don't believe they have a glyph available on T1, rather TNC, so they can't really glyph this creep wave and the tower. So In Your Dream just going to go ahead and start taking it out. They'll put the repair kit down. Now everyone has TP back. They're going to have to go for a fight, and they do. Jumping In Your Dream, but he will BKB up and just run away. Miracle is around as well. They would have loved to start off and just take out that Aegis, but unfortunately for them, the Monkey King does survive.
Yeah, and he's not opting to go into that Radiance, just something else that uses the Sacred Relic.
Why not, right? Get even more value with with those soldiers now. It's maybe a bit risky to go for that kind of itemization, but I like it. I respect the hustle from In Your Dream.
I think they're just trying to wait out now. The next 30 seconds, make sure that BKB is back off cooldown.
It's absolutely fine. Just keep controlling up the map and leaving TNC in that base. The only one out of the base right now is Gabby, who's down at the bot lane trying to farm up that Eye of Skadi. Maybe just forcing that the bot lane with those double siege creeps. That may actually make T1 come back.
Radiant's bottom tower
They've got the
is
repair
under
kit on their side as well, and well, it has to be said that top side would have gone down if they didn't have it on TNC, so being a nuisance once more.
That they are.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As
Kind of-
okay, Enigma's holding on to the telescope as well.
Dire's top tower
It's not such a bad item there. Armel gonna jump in your dream, gonna be just fine with the silence.
Repair
that,
kit used once more.
Is that the third charge?
I believe so.
Well, that's the last one. So you just wait out the 30-second duration if you're T1 and just come back for it.
is under attack.
Yeah,
It's just the delay game right now for TNC. You can see March there using his impetus with the Grove Bow to pull the creeps away from the tower, make sure it's able to heal up a little bit more, buy some time and space for Gabby, who, well, it has to be said, he's still 2,000 gold away from finishing up this Skadi.
That's a problem. He's trying.
Prince's Knife, that's handy.
That it is. Wonder who'll take that for themselves. Maybe you give it over to March and just tell him to pick that up instead of the Grove Bow, and he does. Take it for himself now. Just keep trying to farm up here, but you think In Your Dream's actually just gonna buy this Divine Rapier outright? Like he just doesn't care.
I think he's probably going to change if the game doesn't end in the next minute, because that's how long Roshan's got left on the Aegis respawn timer.
Oh, Tim's.
Oh, Tim's.
He's in trouble.
You in danger, buddy.
Yeah, he is. Boundless Strike connected. Tim still invis, but Rolling Thunder. No, he blinks away. They do know where he is, though. Forev gonna connect. BKB, TP, no.
Poor guy.
He doesn't have buyback, which is why he tried the BKB TP play.
Armel's cutting the wave, though. They're doing everything that they can to delay this out.
They have to. But that's the mid wave. The top lane wave is still gonna be there, so T1 will be fine to just go in. They'll disarm him for now. Armel gonna jump in, just delayed even further. Now the Princess Knife as well, but Miracle has jumped in and does get the kill onto March. Buybacks are immediate. Now the Glyph is gonna be there, so even more delay coming out now. TNC still just trying to chip away at the HP bars of T1.
They've got backdoor again. And
they
they're
do.
doing a great job at defending this high ground. Enigma's going to be back up online. He's going to have his BKB in 10 seconds as well.
Well, they put a bounty there onto In Your Dream. They are confident enough to put that on, and Jewel is going to be there. KP, he is going to lose the Jewel, however. And In Your Dream is suddenly full HP again. However, he
Yeah.
does lose the Aegis.
But that's fine. They can back off. You know, they got the tier 3 tower, no more repair kits, no glyph as well, no KP. Although, wow, this is a fake back. They're going back in.
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow, why not? But In Your Dream's going to make it fairly obvious. Back into the melee barracks. Because
Even
Tim's
put a Lincoln Sphere onto Tim's here.
is going to need it. Does he actually get the black hole, though? They're going to drag In Your Dream in. Everyone just staying very split up and letting the Monkey King do his job. And or he'll get the racks for free and they'll just all back out.
Yeah, really like that play. You know, it's either force a buyback out of KP and then you just run away and you're fine with it. Or, just like that, they drop the ultimate. You can't die because you're a level 24 Monkey King with maxed out ultimate. That 24 bonus armor means you're not going to die. And, yeah, free racks for you.
Yeah, make matters worse as well. He's just going to go hit that level 25 mark now and get the added ring onto that Wukong's command to make things even worse for the side of TNC. I've got to say, he's just kind of unkillable on this Monkey King. Like, with a Paladin Sword and a Satanic, how do you actually take him out? If he gets a Boundless Strike off with Satanic, you're just kind of screwed.
Yeah, with great difficulty is how you take him out. Ooh, 2 Spell Prisms dropping, 1 for each side. So, going to be relatively happy with that, you'd have to say. I wonder if it's nearly worthwhile giving it to Gabby.
You wouldn't mind it. They'll give it to Armel for now. I guess that also makes enough sense, because that means you could just spam that Resonant Pulse even faster. Or does that work with the charge time?
Not with a charge, no.
Okay. Well, he'll still hold on to it for now. They do smoke up on T1. This is gonna be into the eye of Skadi of Gabby. He just picked it up. However, you've got a butterfly now up on In Your Dream, so he does just decide not to go for the Divine Rapier. Moonlight Shadow also popped. They know where TNC are, it seems, or maybe they don't. Smoke up from TNC, but Tim's got spotted out. They're chasing him instead.
Run, Tims. Join with your team, but MK's right here.
Radiant
They don't have a gem, though. It's,
They know, though. They know.
They do. Scan out on In Your Dream. He does break the smoke. They pop another one. He BKB's jumping in with the Wukong's command now. He's not... Well, he is actually level 25. Miracle going to jump in onto March. They'll go after that Pos 5 first, but they can't actually kill him off yet. That Prince's Knife is making it very hard.
They found
Instead,
Tim's.
they'll go on to Tim's Black Hole.
Oh,
No, it's not
used
there in time. He actually used it, but it's on cooldown now. He never got it off. Gabby's in trouble again as well in that Morphling. He's been bashed up. He'll waveform and just try to TP away, but they are going to lose Armel. In fact, no, he astral steps in time, but In Your Dream has the vision. No buybacks on all three of those heroes. T1. I don't mean to call it early, Danog, but they may have just won this game. They may have enough time.
They may, but they're doing, again, a good job with KP and Gabby here to try and push out these waves. Wisely done by In Your Dream to make sure that KP, he knows that he can't 1v1 this insane Monkey King. And I mean, they've been hanging on by the skin of their teeth, but at some point it had to break, and this might just be it.
Could be. We'll see if they can make it happen. Of course, Gabby going to be there to delay things with KP. They won't have the black hole up, even if Tim's is going to be there, so still going to be very, very hard. That mid-rack's definitely going to go down, surely. Unless, indeed. The disarms are there, but the status resist from the Satanic is just kind of ruining that disarm, and they're actually not going to go for the Megas. They're going to play very cautiously and back off.
Did MK buy anything? Because I feel like he had a lot more money than he did.
The butterfly.
Right? Okay, he bought butterfly.
He did end up...
the rapier?
Yeah, he avoided the rapier. I don't think he wants to throw the game. Just in case, you never know. Well, they're going to go back into the mid lane, spotting out Gabby. Moonlight Shadow is there, and there is no vision from TNC. They'll go after KP first. Mel jumps in, but Tims also goes down now the Enigma. Still controlling up that LC. Gabby's going to be targeted now. Does Ethereal Blade the Monkey King, but it's not going to help too much. He'll continue trying to fight back, but they are losing that LC. Still KP will die. Arrow is juked out by Gabby. Buyback out from KP. However, Gabby gets bashed. He will die with no buyback, and that may actually just be it. Armel now being controlled up. He has no way out. He will also die with no buyback, and that is GG. TNC dropped game 1 up against T1.
Yeah, and that's the danger of going into this Enigma, right? You create a lot of space, sure, for the team during that mid-game, but if you're not able to get off the game-ending black holes and have that right level of influence for what you give up in the laning stage, it just means that it's not going to go all well for you. I got to be honest, it didn't feel like a 42-11 game. Like, TNC played that really well for how behind they were.
No, I absolutely agree. Like, they were doing quite a bit of split pushing. They really did drag out the game for quite a while, up until Gabby actually got some farm up. But In Your Dream and Miracle, they were just way too far ahead, it seemed. And In Your Dream, by the way, 17-0-14. I mean, if you were going to give anyone an MVP award this game, I think we all know who it is. That man was playing insane this game.
Pretty handy, has to be said. I think it was very much a team effort.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Danog, I apologize. Your mic's gone a bit funky on me. Luckily, the game has ended, so we'll go fix that up. We are going to be back in about 10 minutes for game number 2 between T1 and TNC. It is MLP Danog and Danog, of course, and we'll be right back for that second game in just a moment.